Hello and welcome to L2R. I'm Kinaesthesia, and today I'll be going over the strategy for Chimaeron on the heroic difficulty. Narration is proud of this horrible lab experiment, and what other way to show your appreciation than by stabbing it multiple times? If anything, you're really doing Narration a favor, beta testing his latest creation. Chimaeron is a gear check fight. This two-phase fight isn't too difficult, but will require quick and precise heals. Chimaeron has around 128 million HP, and you'll want to bring 2 to 3 tanks, 6 to 7 healers, and a balanced DPS makeup. Some guilds may prefer to bring more range to this encounter due to the need to spread out, but the fight is still doable with some melee. This guide will assume that you are already familiar with the normal mode of this fight and as such, the normal mode mechanics. For a more in-depth look at the basics of the fight or the fight as a whole, please refer to the normal mode strategy guide. Chimaeron retains all of his normal mode abilities for the encounter. Caustic Slime now hits 5 targets, so the need for quick and accurate heals is much higher. In addition to this, Chimaeron will no longer feud while the Biolatron is offline, as Narration will interrupt this ability. In phase 2 of the encounter, the raid will be afflicted with Mocking Shadows, an aura that ticks for minimal shadow damage and persists until the fight is over. Begin the fight just like normal mode by having the raid spread into their positions. Place healers in central spots toward the middle of the room or raid and spread ranged DPS out around them. Have melee spread apart from each other in melee range of the boss. Speak to Finkel before pulling to give the raid the Finkel's Mixture buff, and then begin the encounter. Caustic Slime will hit more people, so the raid will need an accurate way to heal people quicker and more efficiently. There are multiple ways to accomplish this, but your raid must decide what works best for you. We have different healers start at different ends of their raid frames or start in different party groups. This prevents heal overlapping and helps ensure that more heals are more effective. While the bot is online, the raid stays spread out, but just like normal mode, stack up when the bot goes offline. Determine a rotation for Divine Hymns and Tranquilities for each stack. Additionally, Power Word Barrier is excellent for reducing the Caustic Slime damage during this period. Since the tank will continue being meleeed during the stack on Heroic, use a cooldown on him or her each time the raid comes together. A Lay on Hands rotation is extremely helpful for topping the tank off just before each feud. Once the bot is back online, the raid can spread back out into previous positions. At around 20%, the raid should wait for the next massacre, stack up, and proceed to use any remaining Tranquilities and Divine Hymns to top off each player. It is important to go into phase 2 with as many people at full HP or close to as possible. Chimaeron will become immune to taunt and take 10% increased damage. Additionally, during this phase, the raid takes 99% less healing, so even healers should DPS the boss. The ticking shadow aura acts as a softened rage, but can be mitigated by having Discipline Spec priests shield raid members throughout phase 2. Doing this can greatly prolong the lifespan of your raid. Have the current tank use all of his cooldowns and face the boss away from the raid to increase overall DPS. The second tank should be ready to use all of his cooldowns when the first tank dies. Depending on your raid's DPS, it is extremely likely that Chimaeron will begin to kill your raid members off one by one during this burn phase. The key is to try to stay alive and kill him before you have no players left. Even on heroic difficulty, this boss is not too hard. Working out effective routines and rotations for the healers should be the primary concern. Making it to phase 2 is a good marker, but remember that even the transitions can be quite tricky. Try to stay cool and focus on doing what you must to stay alive, and the encounter will eventually fall.
I wasn't feeling so good. I just didn't feel like playing anymore. So I went home. All scrunched up in front of my phonograph. And I sat there and I closed my eyes and listened to all this